Hi, it's Heather with Stamps Paper Love, and today I have a process video for you using the My Oasis collection from Traci Reed. We've got a YouTube hop for you today, so let's get started. My Oasis is a really gorgeous collection of products. You can see a good selection of the papers right here. I started by building the background with just the hexagons. I got a new hexagon punch and just really wanted to give it a try. So I cut out, I think it's about 3 or 4 hexagons from each of the pattern papers and built the background, and I'm going to now proceed to map my photos and cover it all up. So you really don't end up seeing much in the way of hexagons at the end, but it was a fun process, and I can look forward to using hexagons with a little bit more visibility at some point in the future. So the story that I'm documenting today is the day that we moved my daughter into her sorority house, her junior year of college. And these papers help tell that story really well. She is someone whose favorite color is pink. So I definitely took several of the pink papers to include. And I chose the gray kind of polka dotted background to go with this picture of her sitting on the bed. And the reason being, if you look behind her, there's little fairy lights that we put up behind a sheer piece of fabric, and I felt like that polka dot paper on the gray really kind of mimicked that a little bit. So the background is the fairy lights, and then I'm just using a handful of the papers to matte both photos. So the photo of her on the bed, and then we've got a photo of the outside of the house that she lived in that year. So here I'm just piecing some of the pattern papers together. The process is a little bit off the screen, so I apologize for that. But you know, it's pretty self-explanatory once you see the mats. What I did, I just put about a 3-inch strip of paper on the edge of the floral paper, and then cut out or adhered the photo and cut out the square behind it. Now I'm trying to decide which way to put the photo, and you can see that I kind of tilted the photo of her sitting on the bed. And at some point I'm going to pull that up and straighten it out. It's probably what I'm doing right now, a little bit off the camera. But I just decided I didn't really like that angle too much. And I didn't damage the paper too badly. I just had to adhere a little tear down. That's the trouble when you print at home, is sometimes it's not as forgiving with the adhesive as things that are a little bit glossier. So I kind of decide here how I'm going to position the papers, and then I'm going to grab some foam to give a little bit of dimension. And so that's what I'm doing now, is just kind of measuring out how I want to cut that foam. I'm going to adhere the foam to the back of the photo with some liquid adhesive. Nouveau Deluxe adhesive is my favorite, and I buy a bottle of that like every time I order something, it seems like, just to make sure that I always have some. And I definitely use it quite a lot. I have tried a number of other liquid adhesives over the years, and this one just really is my absolute favorite. And then of course I get some kind of adhesive on the photo here, so I have to erase off with my adhesive eraser to take care of that. It's still on there a little bit. I can see it while I'm looking at the layout, but you know, stuff happens. And then I'm going to use that same liquid adhesive to adhere it to the layout, and then we'll start working on title and whatnot. So this is where the hexagons start to get covered up, and I printed some of the printables here, and the great thing about working with a printable collection is, on the sheet, it only had that home written there one time, but I was able to remove some other things that I wasn't going to use, and I just copied home and pasted it on there, and so I would have two of them. So I wanted the title to be Home Away from Home. This was kind of the first time that she lived away from home. We were fortunate her first couple of years, fortunate for us as parents, I guess, that she was still living at home. We're close enough to the university that she went to that she was able to do that. And so her junior year here was the first year that she actually left our house and lived at the sorority house for the year, or most of the year, as it turns out. This photo was taken in August of 2019, prior to the pandemic. And so when I write the journaling here in a little bit, I'm going to mention that on this day, we definitely had no idea that she would end up having to be moved out early. She should have stayed there from August until April, but the COVID pandemic hit in March of 2020, and her housing corporation decided that they were going to close the sorority house since most of the kids were being sent home to do the remainder of the semester remotely anyway. So we had to move her home in March instead of April. So yeah, good fun times, but it was a good experience for her. And she enjoyed living in the sorority house for that year. And so I've placed a few of the embellishments. There's a lot of great little tabs and words and things like that. So I've got a little tab on her photo, and then it says moving day and home sweet home with the little stack of books. I thought that worked really nicely for a college student. I definitely like the books. And here I'm just writing out that journaling. Pretty much the story that I just told you a minute ago. The journaling is done on one of the 4x6 cards in the collection, and the peonies on the collection are just absolutely gorgeous. I cannot tell you how pretty they are. And the colors, just that there's a pink and a gray and a very, very light, pale, I don't know, minty blue-green color. And then that darker green for the leaves is just really, really gorgeous. I love it. So then I'm going to stick the journaling on. And after that, I'm going to adhere the title down, and I use some foam for the title as well. It's foam tape, so not the same purple stuff that I was using before, but just a couple of strips of foam tape on the back of the home words. The middle part of the title, the away from, I stamped those letters using a tile alphabet stamp set from Ellie's Studio. This was the first time I used that stamp set, so I was excited to give it a go. I just got it, I don't know, a month or so ago, and wanted to make sure that I used it on something. There's 3 sizes of it that they have. I actually got all 3, but that is the middle size that they have available. And again, I'm going to put all of the title up on a little bit of foam, and the little house as well. And then after that, there's really just a little bit more embellishment. I add a few things on with my Tim Holtz tiny attacher. So I don't even know if you can really tell in the video, but there's a couple of little staples that hold some things down. I'm going to put a little label and a flower vase up on the top of the journaling in a minute. And at this point, it's just the kind of the final touches. I'm going to add some enamel dots on at the end, which, enamel dots are really difficult for me. Every time I use them, I always feel like I put two clusters down in a way that I really like. And then I always struggle with where do I put the third one, and that kind of happened here too. I should probably just wait and talk about it when I get here, but here I'm putting on the label, and I don't know, probably trying to fiddle with a few things. There's some cool flowers in the collection. I didn't end up putting them on, but I was kind of trying to play with them, see if they would look okay by the title or whatnot. And at the end, I just decided to leave them off, save them for another project. So that was, when I found this little flower vase that kind of matches a similar one with the little stack of books towards the bottom of the layout. So here I'm just attaching, stapling on a little bit, and then I'm going to stick that right in the corner of the journaling. And that's about the extent of it, really. I need to get a better way of speeding this up some more, I guess, because I don't have much to say about it. It's a really pretty house that she lived in, just large, large house on what they call for Fraternity Village Drive, where there's a bunch of sororities and fraternities that have their houses. So definitely got that. Decided to add the little sunburst here behind the house just to give a little bit more yellow, because there's some yellow in the two flower vases. There's the yellow flowers, and so that sun brought in a little extra yellow up in the corner by the title. And again, I did the staples on the little tab. This one I just stuck in here, and it says moving day on it. And then this other one on the house photo, I'm going to actually change it to the other side. I found a little heart that was in the collection to staple on. And then there's a little round label type thing that says this is perfect. And so I'm going to go ahead and add that on. Excuse me. And then I'm trying these flowers again. Those peonies are just so pretty. I just want to use them on everything. But again, I opted to let it go. So here I add the little sun on. And then I'm going to go for the little clusters of enamel dots. I put 3 up here next to the journaling. And then I'm going to put 3 by the title. And this is what I'm talking about. So I've got the 2 clusters figured out. And then I kind of figured out, I guess I still was indecisive with that one, but yeah, it goes up in this area. Got the 2 figured out. I really like those. I'm thinking I need another one. Where am I going to put it? So then I decided to go down by the Home Sweet Home little element, sticker element. And that one I really am not sure that I love it, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to go with it. And so I'm going to finish that up. There are going to be a few still shots coming up here at the end. Be sure to check out the links to all of the other participants that are listed in the description below. If you could like the video and subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. I definitely thank you for watching, and hope that you will check out some of my other videos as they are posted.